imagine this. You've worked hard, you've planned well, you're near the end of your career. It's time to enjoy retirement and the money you've made. Down the road, though, if you have no kids, who will you leave all the fruits of your labor to? It's a problem, more than you would know, actually. Joining us today with some very helpful advice on what to do in the situation is John Iannucci, longtime tax, business, succession, and finance specialist. You are also the founder of ILG Private Wealth out of Veneta. Thank you for being here, John.
My pleasure.
We were just talking about this. This happens, you said, 2 out of 10 times?
Right, more times than you might imagine. About 2 out of 10 families have exactly that situation.
How does this come about? Is it just poor planning?
No, normally what you see is either they have no children and no siblings surviving. On occasion they do have family, but for one reason or another, they choose not to leave their assets to their heirs.
Oh boy.
Right.
That's got to be an awkward conversation.
It can be, right.
What should we be doing? What is the legacy conversation we should be having?
So normally with folks like that, what I like to talk about is what charities would you like to benefit? What schools, temples, synagogues, churches, universities would you like to benefit? And how can we best establish a plan to benefit them, right? In my opinion, I think the best way to do that is through what's known as a donor-advised fund. That way, even after you're passed, you can make contributions to that fund, and that fund will parcel out money to the various charities that you choose, but in little dribs and drabs so that the next year they come back to prove that they've actually spent the money like you directed them to.
Okay, so how do you determine who would do that for you?
Right, so lots of different companies have established already donor-advised funds. Now, if you happen to be lucky enough, blessed enough to have an estate more than $3 million, you can create your own donor-advised fund and create it so that a trustee that you trust and designate will make those distributions for you.
If somebody doesn't do this and doesn't line things up, what happens then?
Normally, just about every state in the United States has an escheatment statute. What that basically says is if your assets are abandoned for long enough, those assets go to the state of Florida, whatever state you're a resident of, right? And so the state will hold them for a period of time, and there's even a system online that you can go on and search to determine if you're an heir for someone who's left money like that.
Okay, the unclaimed funds. We do a lot of stories on those kinds of things. What if someone is watching and, you know, we're the normal people, right? We don't have 3 million. We don't think there's much anyway.
Right.
Should we still be thinking about this legacy?
Absolutely. Every community, every county has established a donor-advised fund. And so it's very simple. Even if you don't have a lot of money, you can use that charity as your beneficiary of your estate and create a fund to be used however you select. Now, they don't have to make distributions every year. So even if you don't have a lot of money, it can accumulate and eventually every so many years make distributions out to your named charities.
That makes a lot of sense. And you might have more assets than you realize.
Right.
And I think a lot of people do. Right. A lot of people ostrich too. Why is that dangerous? And what can you do easily now?
Well, you know, I think what I try to tell clients is that if you don't have a plan and you ignore the plan, the state of Florida has a plan for you. If you don't have a will and you have siblings or heirs, family members, then the state of Florida will make distributions to the folks that maybe you don't want to get that money.
That's the probate situation.
That's the probate, right? That's an intestate estate, one where you have no will. So, you know, burying your head in the sand is not the way to go. Right?
Right.
Steer that ship to make sure that it's going in the direction that you want and making distributions to the folks that you want.
How do you make that determination? Because I would think sometimes these are difficult decisions for parents to make, or you know, somebody with siblings where this money would go.
Right. So we typically have family meetings. I like to include the folks that ultimately will be beneficiaries of this estate in those meetings. If you have children, the last thing you want to do, in my opinion, is have those children find out about your estate plan after you're passed.
Oh my.
Because that creates animosity, there's confusion. Sometimes they think there's undue influence to distribute assets a certain way. Family meetings are really the best way to go about it, and it's difficult. Many people don't like that, they're uncomfortable doing it, but we encourage it.
It's an uncomfortable conversation for sure, but even more uncomfortable when they're facing each other and then they might get some surprising news.
Exactly right.
How do you go about basically getting a will that will hold up in court or is legally binding?
Sure, there are lots of ways. Certainly you can go to a lawyer. There are lots of great estate planning lawyers in Southwest Florida. There are also systems online that actually you can use to create a will by yourself and that will be a valid will in the state of Florida. So there's a lot of different ways to establish a basic estate plan for folks that don't have an enormous estate.
What are some of the things that should be on the checklist, the
Yes.
must do,
Right.
the must consider
Right.
when looking at this future?
Well, in addition to wills, one of the things you really need to consider is making certain that you have a power of attorney in place. So that if you're incompetent or incapacitated for any reason,
Right.
somebody can act on your behalf. It's also important to designate somebody to make medical decisions on your behalf, a medical directive, right?
Yes.
But in addition to that, then you want to decide who you're going to name as your personal representative to actually gather up your assets and distribute those assets according to your wishes. So that's a very important decision as well.
Who should they be looking for to be the executor of an estate?
Yeah, normally I like to look for somebody who resides in the state of Florida. Sometimes they like to name a family member that's out of state.
Right.
That can be a little bit problematic. Sometimes the state of Florida requires them to post a bond when they're an out-of-state
Right.
personal representative. So it should be a close friend or family member that they feel like has the capacity to do that work. And they ask for permission to name that person as a personal representative
That
rather
makes
than another surprise.
Yeah,
Right.
Don't just put that on the
Right.
person, because it is a lot of work,
It's
and
a
it's
lot
a
of
major
work.
commitment to try to execute what someone's wishes were.
Right.
John, how can we get in touch with you?
You know, the easiest way is we have a real simple website to get in touch with me and schedule a meeting. WeCanHelpYou.com.
Okay, we can remember that.
Right.
WeCanHelpYou.com.
Right.
All right.
You go on that website and you can schedule an appointment to meet with me personally.
All right, and located in Bonita. Always leave it to the experts. That's the safest way to do
Right,
it.
right.
We'll also put a link on our Gulf Coast app as well as our Gulf Coast website, so you can check it out right there. It is 9:52. We're going to be right back.